About stopping strikes on energy or with nuclear weapons by the Shaheeds in that number, yes. But now there is anxiety, that is, and so far it is not working as far as a whole, I believe. I will emphasize once again that in Jeddah there was a very good conversation with a very good result, and you know that the Americans proposed a leap forward regarding a complete ceasefire. Although our proposal was initially silence on energy, that is, silence in the sky and silence at sea. Now we see that. From the conversation, it is clear that now the question was raised not to strike with strikes on energy. I do not have additional information yet. I think it is very right if we have a conversation with President Trump and we will know the details of what the Russians offered the Americans or what the Americans offered the Russians. I think that the American side is respecting our agreements, and I think they offered what we had as a result of the meeting in Jeddah, and here's what the Russians replied. Well, in principle, you can't understand all the details, but we're talking about the part that relates to Ukraine. That is, you can understand this from their official Russian messages. I can just analyze what they said there. If necessary, that is, they said about the exchange and about the exchange of 185 people for 175. Yes, I knew about this exchange, to be honest, and in the security service from the Guri I received this information in advance about our well-thought-out exchange, but in any case, exchanges are great for Ukraine, and as for what modality is not to beat on energy, that is, we will support such proposals, but very interesting to know the details and what is actually proposed. What did the parties agree on again? I'll come back to this after we receive details from the American president from the American side. We will give our answer exactly its preparation, and the team will be ready for technical talks further. Well, there is a lot of everything that was declared publicly by the Russians that I understand that they are not really ready for ceasefire. They once again emphasized on their own what we spoke about and warned our American colleagues that they are not ready to end this war, and we see it. They are not ready even for the first step towards stopping fire, because they will talk about some additional condition signals that we saw and or heard with you. So I think that we have the same approximate information regarding the assistance of partners, regarding the exchange of intelligence data, etc. Well, I think that here we will count on the support of our partners about this, and there can be no talk. I think that partners and serious partners will not go for it and will do the right thing. They understand that this weakens the Ukrainian side, not only that Ukraine needs to be supported now. Ukraine needs to be supported after the end of the war. About this is precisely about security guarantees, that is. This is not the game in which Putin alone dictates the rules, and I think that the assistance will continue. We have assistance from both the United States of America and we have the assistance of our European colleagues. We are in constant contact. I am sure that there will be no betrayal from partners, and the assistance will continue a little bit. What do they say there? Russian. That's what they said again. Again they said that in Russia, in the event of surrender, we guarantee soldiers a good life and decent treatment, according to Russian laws and norms of international law, where Russia is going international law. The situation is not easy, but they are good, and so we will defend our state until we force the Russians to end this war. It's hard for me to say about this. It's hard for me to answer the question in which the relationship between President Trump and I still hope once again that we will have a conversation with President Trump. We will understand the details. We have always supported the position of silence and not to strike with any weapon on energy. It's louder in the sky, and also not to strike by sea, on port infrastructure, on the food security corridor, etc. That is, we always supported. We came out with these were our proposals. We will support any proposals that lead to a sustainable and just peace, but for this we must understand what is it about, what are the details, and, God willing, so that we know all these details so that the partners talk to us, because in this war, two sides, Russia and Ukraine. And without Ukraine to negotiate seems to me well to no avail. Ukraine is fulfilling its task in the Kursk region. Ukrainian military are there and will be there as long as we need this operation. We have strengthened in the east of our country. As I said, in my opinion, the maximum things in the Kursk operation was carried out, but after Putin they say that our guys are surrounded. Our guys are standing there in place, showing that they are not locked in and that Putin is not in charge. Not only that, there is an operation there. Someone came out. It seems to someone that someone ran and someone came out and somewhere in another corner came in. Our strategic steps are absolutely clear. Our goals, as long as the enemy is on our territory, we can do everything to make it impossible for Putin to seize our additional territories, and he wants and desires this. we saw a new concentration of troops opposite our Sumy region in the Kursk region. We see what they want to do. They want to do strikes. On Sumy region, on Kharkiv region, on Zaporizhia region. That's what we see. Well, we won't let it happen so easily. I think everyone needs to put pressure so that there is a lasting peace. If President Trump can press for details and not to beat on energy and see if such a first step, and so far there are no other steps. Well, let him tell us the details, then how we will do it. I am sure that all our sides, at least the American and Ukrainian sides, will support any steps that lead to a reduction of strikes on both military and civilian infrastructure. We will support such steps. Now is a difficult time with challenges. It's wartime. So we talk every day with partners and we don't agree on anything in advance right now. It's just that 5 minutes before our conversation with you, I spoke with Scholz and spoke with Macron, and they had a meeting before their press conference. We talked about what's happening now. Let's finish. I have to talk to the Finnish side. I don't have no prior agreements regarding talks with President Trump. I'm just saying he had a conversation. They talked about something new and I heard some details. I would like to hear more details, especially since the American side is offering us all to meet, not all of us, but groups to meet in the Middle East. I understand that Saudi Arabia is on attention. I haven't seen additional details and what was announced by the American side. That is, we support all steps towards ending the war and we will support it. But in order to support something you need to understand what specifically. Well, the president will have time. Trump is a busy man, he will have time, he will dial any time. There is no phone question. We are ready and we will discuss the next steps with satisfaction.